what I find very interesting is that this is grassroots. There's no convention somewhere. There's no people that have discussed this issue. It's just the individuals who decided to stop purchasing these products, and you can notice on the sales. Now, I am not that of a Puritan. Usually, it takes for a product to have 2 or 3 of these things to get me to decide not to buy it. But I do know people out there who are legitimately like, one of these is a thing, and then they don't buy it. And if, well, as it happens, almost all of the entertainment in the West has at least one of these things, they just go to anime, or they just go to older movies. So that's a possibility. You know, I'm not that puritanical. And I'll tell you which one of these would really upset me, to what level. So let's go with the first one. Characters designed with San Francisco sensibilities. So, this doesn't really upset me that much, but it does take away from the art style. It makes the characters unlikable. Think about Tila from He-Man. Think about what's-her-name from Invincible. Think about the lady from Forspoken. Like, all of these characters are not only visibly unpleasing, but their actual behavior is usually toxic. They do not create likable characters. And honestly, the West has a lot to learn about anime. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to make San Francisco like California sensibilities, then I hope people from California are going to purchase your stuff, because in the rest of the world, we do not appreciate neither the aesthetic, neither the character type. Race swaps of any kind. Jesus Christ. Now, I don't think you can make a Hollywood movie without at least one race swap, right? And race swap can only happen in established franchises. Like, you're not going to see it in new movies because it's not a race swap, it's a new character. So, I don't have a problem with new characters, but yes, like, race swap is very annoying. Because you do understand it's just a checklist. And I think it's annoying for the people that are supposed to be represented, because they're basically told, hey, look, we couldn't bother making a new character for you guys. We just changed the color palette, and that's good enough for you, right? Like, that's as much as you deserve. But you also get race swaps in places where they don't even make sense. So, like, for example, the X-Men, right? Like, there are so many X-Men that are of color, it doesn't make sense why you would race swap an already existent one. Or any other IP where you can just literally just make another character appear there that happens to be of a different race. Like, why would you take an established one? And the only reason is because they want the controversy, right? Like, they know that the movie is shit, so they want the controversy in order to drive the marketing. Writing contains overtly anti-white male themes. I mean, you know, just because you can get away with attacking a race and a demographic, you know, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And not to mention, just because I happen to be that and I can't change it, despite the fact that I look like a troll, I don't understand why you'd want my money, right? So, like, if you consistently attack my identity for no goddamn reason whatsoever, then I assume you don't like my identity, and as such, you probably don't like my money either. So yes, like, this is something where I will legitimately choose not to buy their product if they do it a lot. You know, like, 1 or 2 jokes is fine. It also, I guess, depends on the context. Like, if South Park does it, it's fine because, like, they make fun of everyone. But if you have something like Velma, where, like, constantly she nags and complains about straight white men, then I do not watch it. Any female character has their breasts reduced to any extent. I am not that puritanical. Like, sometimes there can be good reasons. For example, if you're casting a new actress, but, like, if the character has, like, really big breasts, and, like Tifa, for example, right? Like, it's part of the character design, and you're casting a flat-chested actress, yeah, I would probably not watch it. Simply because I would know that the casting choice is ideological, and cut me with the bullshit that that's the best actress you found. But sometimes it can make sense. Like, for example, the first time they nerfed Tifa's boobies, the first, not the other, the first, they said that she would look weird if she was fighting, right? Because in the first iteration, the game was pixelated, so it didn't matter. But, like, when you actually make it more realistic, and by the way, like, Tifa's breasts were perfect, I think. So that's my take. You know, like, there might be exceptions. Like, I am willing to be like, budget cuts. I understand. Naruhodo. But usually, like again, the more of these things you add up, the more likely it is that I will not buy your product. Like sometimes one of these is enough to piss me off, but like if you have 2, 3, 4, oh, already I'm not interested. One-way diversity. So Asgard is diverse and country main all white, but Wakanda are ethnically homogenous. Yeah, I mean this is hypocritical as fuck. Any form of censorship or desexualization to dialogue or costumes. I guess. I mean, it happened with Street Fighter. It happens with other games. It depends why you do it. Like, if you're doing it for the age rating is one thing, but if you're just doing it for ideological reasons, yeah, it pisses me off. Dialogue is localized to insert the progressive politics and terminology. I have refused to buy a couple of games, including Fire Emblem. I don't know if it's good or not, just because I know they did this with the localization. And it's not just that, but the people who do the localization are proud of it. And then they do this thing, which this is the one. Like, this is the sacred sin. If you do this, I will not buy your product. I do not care how good it is. I do not care how amazing it is. If I catch you doing this, I will not buy it. Marketing or community interaction involve lecturing, insulting, gaslighting, or guilting your potential customer. Right, so if someone associated with the production, a director, an actor, you know, like the more higher up, the more it pisses me off. If I see them attacking the fans in any way, shape, or form, I will not buy the product. At all. Like, I don't care. Like, you can choose not to have any of the other ones. But, like, this is pissing me off. This as well. Like, this would be on the next step. The localization. Female characters are intentionally made to look ugly. We actually know this because a lot of games have, like, motion capture actresses. And they look gorgeous. But the video game designer purposefully makes her look bad. Grooming and LGBT. So this was, I believe, by Disney. Like, there was this cartoon which had a military marching band, and it had like Marxist flags and everything, and they were teaching kids about families that have 3 people and whatnot. Yeah, I think that's a little bit too far. But to be honest, I do not consume this type of product anyway, so... Hypocritically desexualize female characters while keeping males ones sexualized. This is happening so often. Diablo 4 is the latest example. Mortal Kombat. You get to see the males looking buff, like Greek statues, while the women aren't desexualized. They're just made to look like men, right? So, broad shoulders, strong jawlines, that type of thing. Tries to justify female desexualization with ridiculous realism argument. In settings with magic and supernatural powers. Yeah, like the whole thing with realism is absolute bullshit. Like, you play Mortal Kombat, you just stabbed me with the talon of an insect through my heart, and now I'm getting up. Like, I think realism has left the building a long time ago. And not to mention, I don't want every single one of my games to be realistic. Like, it's okay to have games that are over the top. Devil May Cry, for example. Anime is over the top. Like, why does art have to be realistic? It's fine if, like, something is realistic, but when all the art is realistic, and there's nothing realistic about putting a man and a woman in a fighting ring to the death. Okay? So, like, let's cut the bullshit. I don't even think they use this argument anymore. Emasculates male characters while female characters are portrayed as butch, flawless, and unbeatable. I guess it depends. You know, like, there are anime where the male character is emasculated. Naruto, for example. But like, yeah, Sakura is not unbeatable. I mean, this is the thing that the West does poorly. While it's okay to play jokes on men or women, it shouldn't come off like the other gender is hyper competent and the other one is hyper incompetent. And the reason they do this is because they do not know how to create characters which are good, right? So if you can't create a character that's good, what you can do is to make already established characters look dumb as fuck. And then by comparison, your character starts to look good. Unironically endorsed by anti-intellectual grifters who argue in bad faith. So we got Kotaku, Merisu, Polygon, Feminist Frequency, Reset Era. I wouldn't say Angry Joe is but anyway, right? So if that is true though. Like, if I see that Kotaku and Polygon is giving like a really good grade to something, I become suspicious. If I see them giving a really low grade to something, I get interested. It's not the golden rule. There are many exceptions, but usually, if I see Kotaku, like I'm looking at a trailer and it looks good, and Kotaku gives it a 4, I'm thinking like, maybe I should try this game. Gender erasure, who does this benefit? Even most trans people identify as one gender. Yeah, so like this came out of the blue. I think it came out with Elden Ring, where they go like body type A and body type B. And like I had to actually think for a bit, what the fuck does that mean? And then I was like, oh. And what's interesting is like, as you can see, this is probably body type A, right? And what's interesting is that body type B has naked chest. But body type A doesn't come with a naked chest. Why? Because body type A is a fucking woman, isn't it? And you would get an age rating of 18 fucks if you're going to go that way. And you know that. So that's simply it. There is no discussion. You are not entitled to my money. You will not insult, lecture, gaslight, guilt, or degrade me into giving you money or products that don't appeal to me and are overtly made to attack and tear me down. There is no debate. You want my money? Knock all of this off. I don't owe you an explanation or any other damn thing. I'm simply telling you I will not buy these products for myself, my friends, or my children, and you can't do a damn thing to me to force me. Now, what's interesting is that it's true, right? Like, every single time you have like one of these products, and people say that they will not buy it, they're being attacked. Why don't you buy it? Why don't you buy it? You're an evil person if you don't buy it. You're a Satanist if you don't. Look. It's my money. Shut the fuck up. Okay? I don't have to buy it. Like, I'm not forced to buy it. Why are you talking about it? Because I can. Like, why shouldn't I talk about it? If it's that good, if the product is that freaking good, you shouldn't be worried that I'm talking about it. Like, it will sell. You know, Harry Potter. Harry Potter with Hogwarts, they tried to censor that. You know, there were people organizing boycotts, very powerful individuals connected to activist groups. You had the media on your side. You did all of that. It doesn't work if the game is good. Word of mouth spreads it. But the problem is these games are bad. You know, they resort to these tactics simply because they are bad. Like, they are doing this for controversy. They are doing this so that people talk about it, because otherwise no one would fucking talk about it. And I am tired of it. I am sick and tired of it. Unfortunately, literally everything has at least one of these things. So I'm willing to compromise. You know, if it's got like 3 of these things, fine. I would probably like have a tier list with like what's more harmful than others. Again, like this one in the middle where they're attacking the community, I think is the worst. The localization thing is also worst, and attacking identity of people just because you can get away with it, right? Like if you have like this one of the unholy trinity, chances are I'm not going to watch your shit. But let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.